In the top right, we have AI Pro Clan representing Team Techno Vikings as the Purple Terran. I don't even know what that means, Sheth. Come on now. Man her up. In the top, we have the Green Protoss GLRiChY. Bottom left, we've got Liquid Red representing Team Liquid. I guess I should probably switch it from the overlay. There we go. Representing Team Liquid as the Red Zerg. And in the bottom, we've got Liquid Sheth as the Blue Zerg. ZZ versus TP.
Whoa. A little bit of lag, but no big deal. And I gotta point out here that I don't know about on your camera, but right behind the lag we're getting, we do have a probe heading out far across the map, beginning his journey to do something nice and aggressive. And it looks like our admin here is going to drop. I believe he's running one of the Skype voice chat streams, but I don't quite know what we'll do if he drops. We might remake the game just began, but we might just go ahead. Because he's not actually necessarily needed in-game. Maybe I'll tab over to Skype and try and get a peek at what's up.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a hold of him as well. We'll see what we want to do here. But, you know, I really like this early probe coming out. They're abusing the fact that they know exactly what Rhett and Sheth like to do as two Zerg players. We've seen some quick hatcheries from both of them in the past, and almost for sure one of them will be going for that quick hatchery. But if we do end up remaking this game, which we're still waiting on, GLRiChY isn't going to want to reveal this probe and give away the strategy for the next game, so hopefully we hear from our admin soon.
Yeah, you just keep controlling the camera. I'll handle that.
Sounds good. And here comes the probe. Is it going to be spotted by this Overlord? Yes, it has been spotted, so maybe just a very early probe scout. Yeah, there is a pylon in his base, so I guess
and by the way, we'll just go ahead, and this will be the game no need to remake. Unless I get another message, I'll keep tabs. But yeah, just wants to. This is actually the team we saw always doing this. They just send out that very early probe scout. And you know what? They can even... Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
Pylon block going down. I'm amazed, though. Red is actually taking his gas here, so he's not going for hatchery first, but it looks like it was Sheth's turn. We've actually seen this before, and Sheth can actually just go ahead and take the other expansion, so we're going to need to see another pylon getting thrown down here, and he will indeed go ahead with that.
A double pylon block. I don't know if Red or Sheth was planning on expanding in the first place, but yeah, there we go. I was going to say, that's a lot of resources to invest on players that weren't too eager to expand anyway. He does end up canceling one of those, which kind of makes his other pylon a bit useless, because whichever Zerg player wants to expand... Oh, but speak of the devil, there's another pylon going up, so some great awareness by Richie, seeing that drone crawl out there to try to expand and throwing down another pylon, so maybe this was useful. I don't know.
Well, the thing is that drone is actually a little bit of a fake out, because Sheth actually only had about 235 minerals. He's got a whole bunch now. He's actually getting up to about 500. So now is when he wants to throw down that hatchery. But I guess he's just going to give up because he knows that that probe is still simply there. Meanwhile, Rhett has mined his 100 gas, and he's going to go ahead and chill. And it looks like actually RiChY going to go ahead and play the metagame a little bit here of his opponents and go Nexus first, and his ally here is actually going to be going for Reactor Hellions. And I think this is a pretty nice combination here. We're going to see Reactor Hellions get some map control, and unless it, I mean, Liquid, they're not going to go super all in, so they're just kind of going to cede map control, and GLRiChY is going to be able to just make a ton of probes and have a nice economy.
Yeah, I really like this opening from these two, denying those expansions for quite a while, and now they're going to have a complete wall-off against double Zerg players with a safe expansion in their base. And if you have a fully operational Protoss base and a fully operational Terran base against two Zerg bases, two fully operational Zerg bases for each player, it's still got to give the advantage to the Terran and Protoss, simply because they've got the mixture of composition. As we mentioned earlier, you can always go for the Bio Sentry, you can go for Viking Colossus, tons of cool things like that.
Yeah, and I feel like the other important thing to actually mention is, Liquid Red actually going to get in here, see that Nexus. So these guys are going to know exactly what's up, as a few Hellions are going to show up and put an end to this party. Nonetheless, though, some key scouting has been gotten done, and it looks like Speed going to finish off. He's just going to try and focus down some probes. Looks like he'll get got at least one there, which is, of course, just a little bit of a bonus. And Sheth actually being annoying, pulling some SCVs off mining. They're just doing what they can, continuing to scout, and just really kind of showing making the most out of every single unit, not being lazy in any regard, and they know exactly what's coming, so what will we see in response? Looks like both of these guys going to be making some roaches, throwing up that roach warren.
Yeah, and if nothing else, those Zerglings did stall those Hellions for a while. Some of them,
yep,
looks like they're being misrallied a little bit, but now 4 of them, 6 of them, rolling across the map. Roach warrens coming up just in time, but I'm going to have to see if they're going to try to block these ramps. Oh, there's GLRiChY lagging out a little bit. Are they going to block these ramps with the roaches, or are they just going to try to tuck them within their mineral lines to deal with these Hellions, because they are on their way, and they are just about to get inside of this base of Rhett and Sheth.
And behind this, you'll notice there's no warp gate upgrade coming. We are seeing 2 Stargates as well from our Protoss player, so this is going to be very interesting here. The Ling's going to try and get off a surround as they can. A couple Lings getting cooked here, but the rest do pull back. Meanwhile, these drones will be forced off mining. Roaches are just about to pop, though, so if you can just, continue to posture a little bit with these Lings, buy some time, he should really get away here with minimal losses, and it looks like that will indeed be what happens, but this is still a lot of Hellions. They can't, they can't get lazy here because they're circling around, doing a great job reconnecting, and now Sheth with a lot of very exposed drones is definitely going to lose a couple here.
Yeah, and while all this is happening, both AI ProClan and GLRiChY now have their expansions up. That command center on the way for ProClan. Richie's had his up for a while, of course. And, they have even harvesters, almost identical. They were identical for just a moment here. But if you're identical as a Zerg player at this point in the game, you know you're doing something wrong, or the other team is doing something right, and those Hellions were pretty effective. Could have been a little more effective, but it looks like Team Liquid actually moving out, trying to get something to happen. But with this kind of wall in, and with just roaches with their measly 4 range, there's even a tank out. I don't know what this is going to do.
Yeah, they've continued actually going back to droning behind this, so I don't really mind this too much, and they're going to cause a little bit of havoc, and I think the key thing might be is if these Phoenix have to get revealed, because if there's a critical mass of Phoenix and these 2 guys aren't ready for it, it could be trouble with this. They're just beasting their way through here. Force field does go down, and those Phoenix did fly forward. I'm not quite sure if they got vision of that, though. There was already an Evo chamber in production. There's not any additional Queen's game built, but actually there's a Spore. Actually, that is, of course, one of... There's only 2 Zerg players in this game, so of course it's one of Liquid's. And man, so many roaches are actually beasting their way up this ramp here.
That is a lot of roaches. I don't know where they came from, but maybe Rhett and Sheth shouldn't have droned up behind this. This is pretty dangerous. That's so many roaches. Only 2 tanks and a Hellion. Lots of probes being pulled off the line, and of course these Phoenix, they can lift the roaches up, but they deal the damage so slowly against the roaches, only doing 8 damage per an attack. But it looks like with the combined force of Workers, Hellions, and Phoenix, you don't see that every day. These roaches will eventually get cleaned up.
Yeah, GLRiChY even bringing some of his probes over to the Terran base to try and help clean this up, and these roaches continue to be annoying, and of course the hand has been completely shown. We've got spores up all over the place, Infestation Pit as well up for at least one of these guys, as actually Infestation Pit on the way for both. Sheth's actually is done, Rhett's not so much, but they're just in a solid place to just not take damage from the Phoenix, and they've dealt a sizable amount of damage. They are... everybody is sitting actually around 65 supply, except for our Terran player here, who's actually down around 38. He has only got 27 SCVs, whereas Sheth and Rhett actually both with about 55 drones. I just love watching them play. They play like a 1v1, just trying to make as many frickin' drones as possible, and they get away with it, man. They just get away with it.
Nice transfuse there on the Queen. Yeah, their builds are almost identical. They drone at the same time. They get the Infestation Pits almost at the exact same time. They're both taking their 3rd at the exact same time. It just shows you how alike these 2 are in terms of style of play. Sheth tends to be a little bit more aggressive than Red. Red just loves droning up, but it's a lot of fun seeing these guys mirror each other. And double Infestor, is that really worth it? Because it seems like if one player is going to get Infestors, just feed him your gas and don't waste a drone on the Infestation Pit.
Yeah, and Infestor's popping out now. Some nice fungals going down. A lot of the Phoenix to escape, and ooh, those 4 do. He wasn't quite fast enough with the second fungal, but nonetheless, those Infestors kind of are a big signal that you got to give up with that Phoenix harass, because in the blink of an eye, you can lose all of them.
Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, fungal growth, because of its shortened time span, it's a little worse against fast air units. But still, if you time your fungals right, you can take out a huge flock of Phoenix like this. But they just weren't quite in the right position. But you know, these Phoenix aren't too threatening, even as it is. The mineral lines are covered with spores. You've got infestors kind of keeping them at bay. So I don't see him producing too many more Phoenix. Maybe he'll switch to Void Rays. I don't know.
And actually, there are a couple Void Rays in the center of the map here, but looks like they're going to get taken out. At least one of them going to fall to some fungals and some infested Terrans. Second one trying to escape here. A fungal does go down, and there should be enough infested Terrans to clean that up. Yup, both of those going down, and I think they might have killed one infested there. And oh, here come a bunch of Phoenixes, and hits the money fungal right there. And he's just going to go ahead and just keep spamming more, not taking any risks here. Ooh, some of them escaping, but actually they turn around here. And I don't know, man. How many did they kill? Like one infestor for like 4 more Phoenix?
Yeah, definitely not worth it. Only 2 Phoenix surviving that. They're just gonna fly to the corner of the map and not do anything for the rest of the time. That's what I would do if I was a Phoenix against infestors. But if we check out the units here, combined 9 infestors, so it looks like they're going for 30 lings and combined 9 infestors with Hydra Roach. So no T3 yet. But you know, AI Pro Clan, their economy isn't the greatest. They're sitting at 46, which is a low number, around 60 for GLRiChY, but I don't see any kind of Zerg threatening units, no Colossi out yet. So.
Yeah, there is a lot of siege tanks though, and a Temple Archives as well as a Dark Shrines kind of all over the place. The one thing though is he actually has his 3rd base up a lot faster in mining than actually Sheth had. His Sheth is actually a gold base though. And of course, Rhett is just finishing a hatchery now, and Sheth is taking his 4th. But once again, the Zerg, you know, they want to stay ahead on economy, and they're actually both going for Hive right now. We do have a Spire coming up from Sheth, so I'm really curious if maybe we'll see Ultras coming out from Rhett, because we haven't seen any Ultralists, and Ultralists, man, they might be a little bit crappy, but they are a lot of fun.
Crappy indeed. I have experienced that many times firsthand. They're great to stick at the front of the army, soak up some tank blasts, but not the most cost-effective unit. You pretty much use them when you have way too much money and you just need to make big units fast. But looks like Team Techno Vikings is looking to control the middle of the map, and with that many tanks, you will do just that. 10 tanks just getting sieged up there. And here comes some Hydras. Lots of Hydras, lots of Roaches, lots of Infestors. Not much else. Are we going to see a Greater Spire soon? Yes, It is on the way. And just kind of very passive so far.
Meanwhile, I did see one DT getting warped in. I'm not too sure where it is. I don't really see any pylons in a 2-forward position, but there's the DT actually moving across on the left side of the map, going to be targeting Rhett's expansion. He doesn't have a